Hello children, you're welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. This is mathematics time, and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics we will conclude our work on numbering. Today promises to be activity filled, so you should get your pens and papers and get ready for the ride. So we'll begin with correction to the previous homework as is our usual practice. In our last lesson, you were asked to write these numbers in figures. Now, 80,310,570,691, that's number one. Number two says 814 billion and 56. And number three says 600 billion, 200 million, 10,000 and 30. Now, all you have to do is to identify the largest place value and then build spaces for all the other place values, regardless of whether you're going to put a number underneath them or not. Okay, so here the highest place value is billion, here is also billion, here is also billion. So you build houses for billion, million, thousand, and then ones. And so you should get these as your final answer. You have 80 billion, 310 million, 570,691. Then you have 814 billion. Then there is no million and there is no thousand, so that's why you put zeros there. And then finally under ones you have 56, so you have 056. And then this one 600 billion, so 600 billion, 200 million, you have 10,000, so you put a 0 in front of that, and that's 010. Then you have and 30, so 30 under ones, you put a 0 in front of that, and this is your final answer. I'm very sure that you got this right because you're very smart, and for that I'm going to celebrate you with a chair. Now moving on to today's work. What's our learning objectives? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to write numbers in trillions in figure. Now remember on Tuesday we had Magic Tuesday, and you were told that the next place value after the billion is trillion. Now I don't want you to be scared, my friend. We will not be going beyond trillions. Though we're not going to be going all the way to the Googleplex. We're just going to stop at trillions for your level. Now, you're going to be able to write numbers in trillions in figures. You'll also be able to write numbers in trillions in words. And finally, you will be able to solve quantitative reasoning questions pertaining to large numbers. I'm sure some of you love quantitative reasoning. We'll be having that today. So let's just go right into it. Now, the basic trick for writing in trillions is the same as what we have done in our previous lessons. We'll just be extending it further. Remember the order of counting numbers. We're going to begin, the first 3 digits are going to be for ones, and then the next 3 digits are for thousands, and then the next 3 digits are for millions, and then after that you have the billions. But as we discussed in our Magic Tuesday segment, numbers in thousands will have a maximum of 6 digits, and that is because you have you're going to have 3 spaces for the ones and then 3 spaces for the thousands. And so the maximum number of digits that you can have here is going to be 6, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or anything more than 6 is going to go under million. So if you have 7 digits, it's going to be under million. So when you go beyond 6 digits, 7 digits, you're going to go under million. Now for the million itself, the maximum number of digits you will have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You will have 9 digits maximum. Anything after 9 digits, you will have an extra digit, and that will now need a new space, and that will fall under the billion. Now, billion will have a maximum of 12 digits. Anything after that, you need another place value. And like we learned in the last lesson, after billion, you must have the trillion. So my friend, regardless of how large the number is, all you need to do, my friend, is to calm down, arrange them in groups of 3 and start naming them. The first one is ones, the next one is thousands, the next one is million, the next one is billion, the next one is trillion. That's the largest you can get at this point. Then when you want to write them out, you write each number under the place value and name it according to the place value, as you will say. So our updated order of counting is like this: ones, thousands, millions, then billions. After billions, then you have the trillions. So let's just work with this. We're going to be reading and writing in trillions. And you know, trillions are numbers not that you are going to use in your everyday use, but some of the things that we use trillions for in real life is, for example, we use it in preparing national budgets. The Nigerian budget, for instance, runs into sometimes can be as much as 8 trillion naira or 9 trillion naira sometimes. So trillions are numbers that you use in budgets, for example. Okay, so now look at this number. So many digits all together lumped up and probably look scary. But you are a mathematician and you do not need to be scared because you have been taught how to handle large numbers like this. All you have to do is just to rearrange the digits into groups of 3. And you separate them, give space. So we have done that exactly. Now that you have given space between groups of 3, you now need to name each. Do we begin naming ones from here or from the right? Good job, you. We start naming ones from the right. So you build houses. So we have ones, then we have thousands, then we have millions, then we have billions, and then you have trillions. And this number is very, very easy to read now. Why? Because we have arranged each digit in its appropriate place. And then we have given each place appropriate name. Then we can now see that this is 12 trillion. Ordinarily, if you're looking at it like this, you might be confused. Is it 1 trillion? Or 12 trillion or 120 trillion, you're not sure. But when you arrange it like this, you now know which one really falls under trillion. So my friend, when you're given numbers like this, don't be in a rush to read the number. The first thing you want to do is you want to arrange it so you know which one actually falls where. So now you can see that it is 12 that falls under trillion. So this is easy to read. 12 trillion, 1 billion, 250 million, and 21. There is no thousand. So let's see. Just as a confirmation, we'll read this large number as 12 trillion, 1 billion, 250 million. Don't be in a rush. Just pick the number and read what's on top. You can see there is no thousand. And 21. 21 is under ones. It's the same process and it is very, very easy. Let's take a look at another example. And this one says that we should write this in figure. So all you have to do, as usual, is to identify the largest place value. The number goes 14 trillion, 500 billion, 40 million, 1064. So the largest place value is the trillion. So you build a house for trillion, but then you have to build houses for all the people behind trillion. That is trillion, then what? Good job, you. Billion. After that, million. After that, thousand. After that, ones. You have to build houses for all these, even if you're not going to put a number underneath them. So let's go. So the largest place value is the trillion. We must have boxes for the trillion, the billion, the millions, the thousands, and the one. And then you read the number to determine what falls under each. And in this case, you have 14 trillion. So under trillion, you're going to put 14. Then how many billion? So 14 starting from the right so that you can occupy the two spaces to the right. 500 billion. So that's 3 digits. 500 is 3 digits. So you just fill the 3 spaces. Then you come under millions. How many million? 40 million. So you use 2 spaces to the right. That's 40. Under thousand. How many thousand? Just 1,000. So you put 1 to the right, and then under you have 64. So you fill the last 2 spaces to the right. But is that the end? Of course, that's not the end, my friend. You see all these spaces? I have to fill them with zeros so that all the numbers can be digits can be appropriately placed where they are supposed to be. This is the same method that we applied during the last lesson. Nothing is strange here, except that we are just extending from billion to trillion. So fill all the spaces with 0 except the first one. So you don't need to fill the first space here with 0, but the others you have to fill them with 0, and you have this number. This is 14 trillion, 500 billion, 40 million, 1064. Easy peasy for you, my friend. Are you ready for some of your own? Well, let's get right into it. I have this for you. First activity for today, you're going to write these numbers in figure, and you have just 1 minute to do that. Begin. Alrighty then, your 1 minute is up. Now, let's see what the answer is looking like. Yes, we have this 6 trillion, so you have 6. 37 billion, so 37 is 2 digits, so the first place we take 0. 910 million, that's 3 digits, no problem there. 17,000, 17 is just 2 digits, so the first digit in that place will be 0. And then you have 425. Is that what you got? Good job, you. Now, you have this one. This is 2 trillion, 110 billion, so that's just 110, that's 3 digits. 235 million, so million is the next place. And you have 1,000, that is 43,000. 43 is just 2 digits, so that's why you have this one, this 0 there. And you have 978, which is 3 digits. I believe you got this right, my friend. Good job, you. But your work is not done for today. You still have more activities. Let's see about that. Now you are to write these numbers in words. You have another 1 minute. Begin. Alrighty then, your 1 minute is up. So let's see how this is done. But of course, the number has already been arranged for you and has been grouped in groups of 3s. So this is going to be units, ones or units, thousands, millions, billions, and of course, trillion. So this will be 22 trillion, 18 billion, 422 million. So don't get confused there. That's why you need to draw that house that I asked you to draw. Trillion, billion, million, because some people will just go from billion straight to thousand. No, 22 trillion, 18 billion, 422 million, 29,167. So we'll show you the answer right now. On this one, unit or ones, thousands, million, billion, and trillion. So 7 is 7 trillion. 7 trillion, then no billion. 21 million, 5,634, as you will see. So 7 trillion, 21 million, 5,634. Did you get that right? Let's say the first one. 22 trillion, 18 billion, 422 million, 29,167. Did you get that right? Well, good job you if you did. If you did not, well, you will have another chance with the homework. Now, let's move on. Study these samples and you will use the sample to answer the questions in the next slide. All right, I believe you are done studying the samples. Now let's apply what you think you know in solving these next slides. You have another 30 seconds. Begin. Alrighty then, 30 seconds are up. Were you able to get the answer right? Let's take a look at that previous slide and see what is really going on there. Okay, so I have 3 zeros here, I have 3 zeros here, I have 3 zeros here. So, okay, maybe that doesn't apply, so I can't add the zeros this time. But let's see, maybe I should try adding. I have 40,000 and I have 13,000. 40 plus 13, that gives me 63. Okay, so 40,000 plus 13,000 gives me 63,000. Let's see if I apply that here, if it's going to work out the same way. So I just add these two, 6,300,000, 4,200,000. Let me just take the significant digits. 63 plus 42, I get 105, and then there are 5 zeros, so there are 5 zeros. So basically, it's an addition problem, and that's exactly what we're going to do with the work that is given to us. So if I add two numbers below to get the one on top, when I subtract back, I will get the one below. So in this case, my answer is 40,500, because if I subtract 56,000 from 96,500, I'll get 40,500. And in this case, if I add these two together, 90,000 plus 180,000, I will get 270,000, my friend. Were you able to get that right? And good job, you. Now it's time for your homework. And you know that when you do your assignments, you get a chance to win our packs of Good Life Magic Juice. You get another chance to practice writing numbers in figures in trillions. So practice during your leisure, and I'll be on hand next time to take you on something new in mathematics. I will now hand you over to Uncle Boko for General Studies lesson. Till I come your way in the next lesson, remain wonderful mathematicians.